vision. Faith is rising, I'm on a mission. New hope burning deep inside. No more fear, no place to hide. I'm moving forward, I'm stepping out, leaving yesterday's worries and doubt, helping others find their way, living with purpose every day. Hands up high, this is our time. We're stepping out, we're gonna shine. Switch it, feel it, share it. Let the whole world hear it. I'm a new me, I'm a new me. Walking in freedom, living my dream. Switch it, feel it, share it. Every day declare it. I'm a new me, I'm a new me. All glory to God for a new me. Whoa, 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 for a new me. Stand up strong and stay focused, walking by faith because God has chosen us. Chosen us. Dream bigger than you dreamed before. There's an open door, waiting for more. One heart, one family, building a future and changing destiny. Together we're stronger than we've ever been. The best chapter of our lives begins. Hands up high, this is our time. We're stepping out, we're gonna shine. Switch it, feel it, share it. Let the whole world hear it. I'm a new me, I'm a new me. Walking in freedom, living my dream. Switch it, feel it, share it. Every day declare it. I'm a new me, I'm a new me. All glory to God for a new me. Whoa, 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 for a new me. Family, freedom, home. Faith, family, freedom, home. Who are we? I'm a new me. Say it again. I'm a new me. Who gets the glory? God gets the glory. Who gets the glory? God gets the glory. Family, freedom, home. Family, freedom, home. I'm a new me. Yes, I'm a new me. I'm a new me. Yes, I'm a new me. All glory to God for a new me.
Alrighty, welcome online, everybody. I'm loving starting the events with the recap of the summit event because it's such high energy and everyone had an absolute ball, and it was kind of like the platform of Neumi 2.0, the next rush with momentum because of all the new products, countries announced, everything. It's so exciting. And so, for those that are brand new, my name's Michael Firth, one of the founding advisory board members and Crowns with Neumi, and it's my pleasure to be your MC today. Now, we are live streaming right now on Facebook. We're live streaming on YouTube, on a couple of channels, as well as here in the Zoom room. But do me a favor, type in where you're watching us from, because I love to see where people are coming from around the world. And we are actually using Wordly right now, which means that if you have the app, you go to the chat in Zoom, you can click it, have your phone open, and if you speak another language, you'll be able to hear everything that I'm saying, because it does translate not just English, but Australian as well. So there you go. So we've got people from Perth, from New Zealand, from Ontario, Canada, from the USA, from New Zealand again, from Antigua, wherever that is. That's nice to know. There's Las Vegas, Ontario, Canada, the UK. Welcome. Man, it must be late over there. Melbourne, Australia, and what do we got? Nova Scotia, Canada, Chicago, Christchurch, Washington State, Colorado, USA. I could keep going, but there's people on from all over the world. If you don't know, Neumi is actually open in 74 different countries. And we are growing like wildfire with some spectacular new announcements that just happened. Today's session, we normally have a session once a month with our founder, Steve Scott, who dives into the hydrostat details. Today, we're going to go deep diving into the NutraSwish Extra Strength and the Eurofins study, along with some other stuff for brand new people who are watching as well today. With that in mind, we did 2 sessions today. We had our founder do it this morning. Rather than just have him played like a broken record, we asked if we could record that. So I'm going to play that for you right now, and you'll get to see everything you missed this morning. So I'm going to hand you over to Sergio Della Mora.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's special call. We didn't want to wait until the third week of August. We had Summit during the month of July. A lot of momentum going on around the world now with the Diamond Momentum Tour, taking the message that was shared and all over across the world for the next few months. And we got a lot of fun things coming. As I've talked to you a little bit yesterday on Members Night, I am really excited about the rank reset promotion that we're going to introduce to you in just a few days. So look out for that messaging this weekend as we start off August. And next week, we'll have a lot of fun information as we also talk about Summit, a special member night where we'll have the executive team participate on that. We have a lot of fun information to share. And now I'm going to pass the time over to our founder, Stephen Scott. Before I do, just want to remind you that this call does offer translations offered to you through Wordly on the chat. The information is there on how you can access those translations. And we also have live Spanish translations through our good friend from Panama, Alfredo, who is helping us out here. Thank you, Alfredo Vice. You're the best. So thank you again for being with us. Stephen, welcome to today's special call.
Thank you very much, Sergio. And we do have some exciting stuff. I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, in a hotel room, which is why my background is blurred. Sergio, did I lose my speaker's center? Because now I see myself as a little picture.
Nope, you're here as the spotlight now.
Oh, okay, good. Always want to be in the spotlight. So much of what we hear, we actually see. When we see a person's lips moving, at least for me, if I was blindfolded, I'd miss half of what people say. So welcome to everybody. Special welcome to our Neumi family member in New Zealand, who it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And Jackie, I don't understand. We have it later in the day, and I hate to see you missing sleep. I know I would not have a smile on my face at 4 in the morning or 4:30. Sean and I have already made a mistake. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's an hour earlier than Mountain Time, and our computers had the wrong time on them. So we actually started an hour ago, and we're on for about 5 minutes when all of a sudden Sean said, oh my gosh, it's only 10 o'clock Mountain right now. So this is George. It's great to see you. And in Greece, man, we just have the most blessed family in Neumi. And so I'm so grateful for all of you. We do have some good things to go over. We had a great summit meeting. We had, I don't know, I think we had about 600, 700, 800 people. I'm not sure how many, but it was a lot. And from all over, from Russia, oops, I hit something there. From Russia, from Hungary, from Kazakhstan. I never can say that one right. What is it? Kazakhstan. It should be easy. And just wonderful people, and Hungary and Spain and Italy, and to name a few. And but it was a great meeting. We introduced new product. We shared the findings of our Eurofin study, and I'm going to go over that with you today a little bit. And we launched the advanced iteration of NutraSwish, and it is amazing. You know, everything has a tipping point. In fact, I saw that term in the headlines today about something, and it said they've reached the tipping point. What is the tipping point? The tipping point, obviously, we'll say you're going up, 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 you're getting better. And now, man, you're now at crescendo and boom, tips in your favor. And we found the tipping point with glutathione in our formula. Our hydrostat formula is a delivery method that is protected with the patents that we're pursuing, patent pendings, as well as trade secrets. Nobody else in the world has it. And it's a way of actually keeping, by the way, the reason my eyes flash, I'm having to use his light, the big TV screen in my hotel room. So don't be distracted by it as I am. Where was I, Sean? Oh, he wasn't listening. Okay. Anyway,
tipping point.
yeah. In hydrostat, we encapsulate molecules in a cluster of water molecules. And those clusters, like an envelope, can only hold so much matter. And if they reach a point where they pop, right? And they won't hold any. And on any given ingredient, you've got to find that sweet spot where you're getting as close to maximum as you can without rupturing the water cluster. And we have found that place. And the difference between where we were and where we are, even though it's only probably what would that be? 3? It's a third. So about 30% more. No, it's 48% more. I now know it's over 48% more glutathione and more cysteine than we had in the blue bottle originally, the NutraSwish. And so you'll have that iteration when next to Neumi on NutraSwish, it says, what does it say? Oh, extra strength, extra strength. Now, we had that for a year. We just didn't market it. That was part of our professional package in the United States. It goes to clinics, doctors, so we could really follow the difference. And there you go. Thank you. And the difference, it's that tipping point. The difference between that 48% isn't a 48% more difference. No, it's the tipping point. It's like bringing the right atoms together, right? And that's what we have seen. That's what our clinics saw. The clinics that were using it saw things that were totally unimaginable, literally. Dr. Nicolopoulos, he had taken one of his clients, he had him on our NutraSwish, and when he had him, he measures genetic expression and other things. He would see this great improvement and it would go from here to here. But in a particular client, when he went to this iteration, which is 48% more, it went from here off the page. Woo, I can't even get that high. And the change in the client was unimaginable. And so, but that was just some of the feedback. The feedback we started getting was great, but we couldn't let the field know because we couldn't offer it to you. And now we have made the switch and it is available to the field. It's 48% more active ingredient for about it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's $5 more expensive. It's worth many times that. It's nobody in the industry does what we've done without a doubling or tripling of price. I mean, but we had to because our costs went up. And so it's just, I'm so excited because guess what? I've been cheating. I've been on it from the day we had it. And I'll be 78 in 2 weeks. And honestly, I feel better than I've ever felt. All my numbers that you look at, I just had my annual physical, and they're better than better. And they weren't bad. I'm not on any statins or anything. All my cardiovascular numbers are honestly, they're where they were in my late 20s, early 30s. And it's just my eyes, they're I haven't changed my contacts lenses since 2006 when I first started getting on glutathione supplementation. And so the doctor can't explain that. Because I was changing every year until I started glutathione in 2006. So anyway, okay, here we are. Let's talk about a few things. For those of you that are new, we'll show you some pictures in a few minutes of the effectiveness of our product. Now, another thing I need to do is tell you that the Eurofins study, which is breakthrough significant, was used extra strength. And why did we test extra strength instead of the strength that was in the field? Because we knew that's what we were going to. We were going to move everybody there, and we were seeing such amazing results in clinics. We wanted to go with our best foot forward, and boy, did we make a good decision. So, in fact, I went through it with a medical scientist. He's a surgeon, but he's also into stem cells and a lot of other things. I went through them with our results yesterday. Sean and I had him on the phone for an hour and a half. And he said, you guys have rung the bell. You guys are in an area that nobody else in the world is in. And we know that. And that's why we're excited. We see changed lives. And, we have George on here from Greece. And we have changed his life. And he sends me pictures of the changes and tells us, and he gives his testimony when we have meetings in Greece. And that's what we live for. We lived to make life better. This is a big deal. This is why at 78 years old, I'm still working. And Lord willing, I'll be working for years to come. So let's get started. Sean, let's go to the Eurofin slides, and I'll explain them. This is going to be fun. Okay. So coming up, are you a co-host? Yes, you are. There we are. Okay. Now I have pictures blocking. Sean, how do I get rid of the pictures?
There's a little left, right. No, two more left. There you go.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. It was covering the graph, and you can't talk about a graph you can't see. And now there's this one. Okay. Okay. So first, let's talk about what this is and how it resulted. I was on a Zoom call with a scientist, and he was new to me. I had never heard of him before, but he had great credentials. And he had, really good credentials. And he said, there is no way on earth that you are getting glutathione into the cytoplasm. And I said, well, yes, we are. Here's our evidence. Nobody else sees this and that and this and that. And it could not happen without that. He says, well, I won't believe it until I see it. Well, guess what? We went and paid a lot of money to the #1 testing lab in the world. It's Eurofins. Eurofins is in 60 countries. They have 64,000 employees. They do 450 million tests a year. And so we asked them to test now this. Let's see, can you come back to me for a minute, Sean? Okay, so what this is, there's two things that I want to talk about. #1, getting glutathione from the mouth through into the cells. So you got to go from the mouth to the bloodstream to the cells. Now, other glutathione, other delivery systems, it's glutathione into the mouth through the digestive system. When they hit the stomach, it breaks the molecule. And your cells will not accept a broken molecule. So it's waste, okay? Then, as many of you have heard me say before, they decided to take those sweet little glutathione particles. Let's find a little particle here. If I can find it. There we go. I'll take a Okay, so they take those beautiful glutathione molecules and cysteine molecules, and they wrap them in layers of fat, liposome. Okay, what happened? Well, now the particle size is too big to get into the cell. If you'll remember, there's passive diffusion and there's forced diffusion. Passive diffusion is the substance, the particles pass over and around the cell, and if the cell wants them, they drop right in. There's no energy required for them to get into the cell. Forced diffusion is that the particles come up against the cellular wall and they're pushing, trying to get in, and they've actually have a chemical reaction with the cell to where energy is used, ATP, which you don't want it to be used for stuff like this, but the ATP is used to drive it into the wall of the cell, the cellular membrane. Then whatever gets into the membrane, some of it leaches into the cytoplasm. So that's liposomal delivery. And, some gets in. What Eurofins tested isn't from here to the stomach, to the cell, to the cytoplasm. It was just if glutathione comes in contact, passes over the cell, does the cell take it into the cytoplasm through the membrane? Does it get through the membrane into the cytoplasm and begin the redox activity? Redox is where the glutathione gets into the action. Okay, I used to be a director in Hollywood for 35 years. You got a crew of 100 people around you. You've got your actors on the stage or in the location. And everything changes when you said, okay, and quiet in 3, 2, 1, action. And everything comes. Well, nothing is good with any molecule in the cell until the action starts. Glutathione especially. When glutathione actually gets into the cytoplasm, what you want to happen is to see what's called redox activity. Now, if you pictured your cell as a battlefield, okay, cells are more complex than anything mankind's ever built, not by 1 or 2 times. If you take the most complex machine we ever built was the Saturn V rocket and lunar delivery, lunar orbiter, lunar lander, the rocket, 3-stage rocket. Getting all that to work right was the most complex machinery ever built by mankind. Took 35,000 engineers 8 years to develop that. Every cell you have has millions of times more complexity than that system. Now, why is that relevant? Because what happens, certain things get into the cell that don't belong there, like chemical contaminants and all sorts, heavy metals, stuff like that, and it all interferes. And then you've got the activity in the cell of converting energy, converting into usable proteins, and that uses energy. Well, that energy system is at a mitochondrial level. Mitochondria are little machines. A fat cell has 2 mitochondria. It doesn't need to do a lot of work. On the other hand, a heart cell is working its head off, right? And it has 2,500 motors, mitochondria. Each one's a motor. And those motors produce adenosine triphosphate. And when they do, it creates an exhaust, okay? So picture those old buses that we used to see. They'd come to a stoplight, and man, if you're old as I am, you'd remember this. And then the light changes and they start to move and you see all this exhaust come out. Well, that exhaust happens in your cells. And that creates it's called ROS, reactive oxygen. And the reactive oxygen species are free radicals. They're created, and guess what they do? They attack your DNA. They accelerate the aging of the cell. The cell gets older faster. They create inflammation. The inflammation mucks up the cell and the workings of the cell. Well, glutathione is the master antioxidant. It performs over 400 functions. It's the most studied molecule in all of medicine. Right now, 207,000 published studies on glutathione. And one of its roles is to take care of that ROS, take care of the reactive. Other antioxidants can deal with some types. Glutathione deals with all types. It's like the master key to a hotel we're in. You know, my room key, which is right here, will open our door, but it won't open any other door in the hotel. A friend of mine owns a bunch of hotels, yeah, big hotels, 5-star hotels. And he'll go down to the front desk and say, I need a master key. They'll cut him a master key. And he can then open any room in the hotel. Well, that's glutathione. Glutathione is called the master antioxidant. It's number one. It's the most abundant. Why? Because you have 37 trillion cells that have glutathione factories in them. And they're manufacturing glutathione. Hallelujah. So it's the only antioxidant that can handle all types of free radicals. Free radicals typically are sourced in oxygen, hydrogen, or nitrogen. All other antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin CoQ10, superoxide dismutase, all of those can each handle one type of antioxidant, but can't handle any of the others. Handle one type of free radical. Free radicals are sourced from hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. They have different structures. They have different chemical compositions. Glutathione handles all types of free radicals, regardless of the source, regardless of the chemical composition, regardless of the structure. Now, problem is glutathione levels decline as you age. They also decline because of disease states, because if childhood asthma, guess what? The glutathione levels in the lining of the lungs goes right down because the lungs have to work harder. And that hard work creates more reactive oxygen species, free radicals. And so now you got to have something to deal with that, okay? Because the lungs are working too hard, so their glutathione levels dip. You get any kind of infection or injury, it can dip glutathione levels temporarily. Now, but we all decline by about 8 to 15% per decade. So naturally, in the natural state, I would have about 65% less glutathione today than I had at the age of 20. Now, here's the problem. Number one, getting it through the digestive system. Liposomes do it because they have that coating. Normal glutathione cannot get through the system. So glutathione injections, glutathione, intravenous glutathione, they can get directly into the bloodstream and bypass the stomach. So that's good. Problem is at $200 to $300 per dose, the half-life of glutathione is only 90 minutes on average in your 37 trillion cells. So you get about a 6-hour bang for the buck and you paid $300 for an IV of glutathione. Not practical. Okay, what have we done? Hydrostat has glutathione not encapsulated in fat, but in water molecules, and the size remains smaller than the pores in the cell. So what happens is that glutathione comes in contact with the cell, and the cell always wants more glutathione, drops right in. Doesn't require any energy, any force. It's not messing with the cellular membrane that's designed to keep things out. It just goes in. That's passive diffusion. Okay, so what the Eurofins study measured, it had nothing to do with getting it from the mouth to the cell, through the bloodstream, through the stomach, any of that. It just took the living cells in a petri dish, basically, human cells, tens of thousands of them, and it had two batches. It had cells that had normal amounts of glutathione in them and cells that had depleted levels. They actually depleted them chemically and dropped them down by 35%. So there was a 35% deficit with these cells compared to the normal cells. So these were called stress cells. They had been stressed or depleted. These were normal. So the test looked at other glutathione deliveries and our delivery. As it comes in contact with the cell, what actually happens? Does it get into the cell? How fast does the redox activity take place? And it was a measurement of redox activity. Okay, if you picture a prize fight, you got two boxers. They're sitting in their corners. When do the boxers need their skills, their energy, their ability to fight? Do they need it sitting on the stool? No. They need it when the bell clangs. Clang, now they come into the ring and they start fighting. That's, in comparison to what we're talking about, that's redox activity. What happens when it does it? Does it, A, when it's in contact with the membrane, does it get through? And then once it gets through, how much redox activity is it able to create within the cell? Okay, got it? I know it's complicated, but it's not complicated. Okay, it's miraculous on our part. Okay, Sean, let's bring up the first graph. Here we go. Bum, bum, ding, ding. Here it comes. Okay, so these are normal cells. Not, oh, those are depleted. Let's go back before the depleted. Timeout. We're switching. There we go. Okay, so these are the baseline cells. So these cells had adequate. Okay, here we go. They have adequate glutathione. So we're passing over. Now, Eurofins could only measure at the 5-minute mark, 10-minute mark, and 20-minute mark. At the 5-minute mark, now of these three bars, you have hydrostat glutathione, you have normal glutathione, which would never get through the stomach. But if it did, this is its redox activity. Sean, you want to point that, or can you point that out? Maybe you can't. Yeah, there's, okay. And the green cell is a type of glutathione, more expensive, and it's actually been treated in a way that helps it get through the membrane, if it could get through the stomach. Okay, so there you can see the comparison of hydrostat. We blew them apart, but now that's at the 5-minute. We were there within the 5-minute, the first marker. We're probably there within a couple minutes, but they don't measure that quick. And this isn't through the stomach. This isn't coming through, this is just it passing over the cell. Then at the 10-minute mark, holy mackerel, look at that. Look at the difference. We not only beat the normal glutathione, the glutathione that was actually treated to get into the cell is way behind us at 10 minutes. And this is measuring, once again, redox activity. The boxing match is on. Ding, ding, ding. They're throwing punches at each. Okay, then we go to 20 minutes. Now, at 20 minutes, in our case, it's had so much redox activity that the cell is now really benefiting from our glutathione to the point to where it actually drops from the 149. The others come up a little bit because they were slow to the scene. If the bell rings and the fighter stays on his bench, he doesn't start his activity till he gets off that bench and into the middle of the ring. Well, they came to the ring later, and or they weren't there in full force. We were there in full force, so we actually had much better activity throughout. Nothing else in the world compares to this. Now let's go to the depleted cells. Now, why is this important? This is critical because most cells, most tissues, most organs need more glutathione. They're depleted, okay? Why are they depleted? Because of all the things we've talked about. Well, look what happened with the depleted cells. At the 5-minute mark, we're 4-to-1. 3-to-1 on the normal glutathione that can't get through the stomach, 4-to-1 on the specially treated, the double E, specially treated glutathione. We're almost 4-to-1. 10 minutes in, holy mackerel, we're 6-to-1. 6-to-1 on the normal glutathione. And let's see, 35 goes into 168. You can do the math. We just blow it apart. At 20 minutes, once again, we're still working, blowing it apart. No wonder we see things nobody else has ever imagined. Does it really make a difference? Let's go to Bill Gillespie. Sean, you can come back to me. When we first developed hydrostat, to see if it really worked, because I knew my background was after I left television and I started funding glutathione distribution, glutathione research in 2006. I knew that if we really had something, we saw some big differences, even with my early glutathione that wasn't hydrostat with athletes. And it wasn't glutathione, it was getting precursors to the cysteine, getting the cysteine into the cell. And we were pretty successful with it and saw some great things, changed a lot of lives around the world. But then we developed hydrostat in 2018, whole new company, it's because it required a lot more money. And I put by this point, I'd put millions into glutathione research. But I needed more investors, and so we started a whole new company. And this is hydrostat. Now, when we had our first iteration of hydrostat, that was in 2018, I knew if we were really doing what I thought we were doing, we'd make a huge difference in athletic performance and athletic recovery. So let's go to this next slide.
Sorry, hotel internet is being
Oh,
so slow.
hotel internet is being slow. It will come back in a second. But I sent it to a guy named Bill Gillespie. Bill was a good friend of mine. He was strength and conditioning coach for a Super Bowl winning football team, the Seattle Seahawks. And but Bill had been an amateur weightlifter since he was 14 years old. And at different points in his career, he had set world records. And we're going to show you that in a second. Here we go. There's Bill in center there, big guy, and makes everybody else look little. Okay, now, at age 49, that's the bottom, he bench pressed 840 pounds and set a new world record. He was 49 years old, and he's drug tested. He competes as an amateur, so he's drug tested whenever he podiums. And that was a new official world record for the bench press. In kilos, I think it was about 340 kilos. And yeah, right? Or 404, no, 340, I think, something like that. And then over the next 10 years, see, that was in 2008, everything went down. And I called Bill, said, how are you doing? He said, not good. He said, number one, my lift is in the toilet. I said, how much? He said, around 700 pounds. I said, Bill, you're 59. That's great. He says, yeah, world record for a 59-year-old. But I don't get to compete with the elite guys now because they're all pushing over 800, the best. And he said, a lifetime of lifting, my body's racked with inflammation. I work with the team, work out the team for 12 to 16 hours a day because everybody works at different times. My recovery time is very slow. I can only lift heavy once a week. I used to lift heavy 4 times a week. And I wake up, my recovery is not good. I wake up hurting, go to bed hurting every day. And I said, well, I think we're going to change all that. So I sent him one of our early bottles of Swish. We didn't even have it packaged yet. These were just blank bottles. And I told him how to use it. And here's what happened. Before he turned 60, his bench press went to 900 pounds, 915 pounds, up 200 pounds. He couldn't believe it. His recovery time was so fast that he went back to lifting 4 times, heavy lifting heavy, as he puts it. And those are sets and reps of over 500 pounds. He was back to heavy lifting again 4 times a week. 915 pounds. And his recovery, he said, my recovery is unbelievable. He says, I don't even get sore anymore. I wake up feeling great. And he was blown away from the very first time. He did it for 2 weeks. His lift went up in that first 2 weeks by 25 pounds. I said, that doesn't sound like much. He says, hey, when you've been going down for 10 years, any lift is good. Well, guess what? It didn't stop there. He went to 915. At 60 years old, he bench pressed 1,050 pounds. I think that's about 400 and some odd kilos. And then at 62, his retirement meet, and it was an official record, world record, he benched 1,129.8 pounds. That's 512 kilos. Sean come back to me. Now, to put it in practical terms, my son Sean's a pianist, and Sean said, Dad, that's heavier than a concert grand Steinway with a piano bench on top of it. And that's what Bill was lifting. Okay, so I had my proof that this new form of delivery was nothing short of miraculous. And with athletes, in fact, one of our athletes, she went on she had a 100-mile bike race. And I got it, this is 2018, I got her the product. She got it on a Wednesday, swished, and jumped on her bike and broke her personal record for a 30-minute sprint. Who sprints on a bike for 30 minutes? Wow. Next day, she swished and broke her personal record for a 35-mile run, practice run. Then on Friday, she rested. Saturday, she had the big meet, 100-mile bike race. And she broke her personal record again in the first 35-mile leg. And then the next leg, mile 38, she got into an accident, went end over end, got airborne, end over end, hit the pavement so hard, broke her helmet, knocked her out. She woke up in the hospital, and her face hit the pavement at, how fast? 23 miles an hour. And it was shredded. And the plastic surgeon said, that's going to take 5 weeks at least to clear. And then you're going to wait 60 days, come in and see me, and we'll work out a protocol for the scars. Well, she got home 3 nights later. That was Saturday. She got home on Tuesday night, and she thought, hey, this stuff is small particle. Maybe if I put it on all my wounds, maybe it'll heal faster. Well, she used a cotton ball, applied it once on a Tuesday night, 3 times Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. By Sunday, 5 days of topical application. Now, she was swishing all along, too. She had become a believer in swish. Her face was completely clear, not a mark. The plastic surgeon had never seen anything like it. And she didn't even have a scar. It was crazy. Well, I saw that and I thought, my gosh, we have the best, world's best skincare. I had owned 5 cosmetic companies in my past life, doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. And so I thought, let's just test this out. So I put some in spray bottles, sent it to about 7 or 8 of my women friends that were part of my other companies. And I said, spray your face 5 times a day. It only takes about 3 seconds. Your neck, if you want your neck. By the way, I'm 78 and almost. And so they did. And I said, send me your before and after pictures after 8 weeks. Well, the first one came in 7 weeks. Can we go to Sherry, please? Here it is. Look at that. Oh my gosh. There's nothing else in the world that can do that. Look at that. Now, I sent that. Here, go back. Okay. I sent that to my former formulator, who was the president of the American Society of Cosmetic Chemists. He had become the head formulator for the Allergan, the company that created Botox. I sent to him the picture. He said, Steve, she's had a facelift. There's nothing in the world that can do that. Botox can't even do that. I said, John, she owns a farm, works the farm. No chemical peel, no laser, no scalpel has ever touched her face. He said, then you got something the rest of the world doesn't have. I said, yeah. He said, will you tell me how you do it? I said, okay, as a friend, will you promise me you'll never say anything to anybody? He says, yeah. So I told him. He goes, oh my gosh, Steve, that's just critical. Now look how it also brightened her face and opened up her eyes. Now you're going to see that on every before and after we send you, just about. Okay, so then fast forward to the creation of Neumi in 2007. Well, instead of just coming out with our oral product, NutraSwish, we also came out with Neumi Skin. Ta-da! Best skincare in the world. Watch. Okay, here we go. So this lady's in Nigeria. She's 80 plus, and her daughter is a doctor, and her daughter said, Mom, you got to try this. She sprayed. She didn't swish. She just sprayed for 4 weeks. Look at the difference. The melanin management of her face, the upper hemisphere of her face, brightened her face there. I mean, it opened up her eyes. Just crazy. Next. She's in Indonesia. That was 5 weeks. We don't know her age. But look at no, go back. Look at the difference. Brighter, tighter, smoother, okay? Younger looking. It's crazy. Next. Okay, this lady said she owns a skincare salon in Miami, Florida, and we think she was about maybe 31, 32. And she said, I can't wait 8 weeks. Look what it did in 8 days. Where did my pores go? My skin is so much smoother, brighter. Look how it opened up my eyes. Okay. She said, Steve, I've tried everything. This is my profession. Nothing does this. And Ryan and I were hearing it at the same time, Ryan, and we high-fived each other. This is 2018. Next. Okay, I love this. This lady came into our office. She had been on the product 6 months. Look at the far right picture. Aaron and I, our CEO, guessed that she was probably 42 to 45. She's 60 years old. Now you can see after 1 month, you can already see the brightening, the tightening, the smoothing. Look at the neck, but look what happened at 6 months. Oh my gosh. Roll back the clock, big time. 60 years old. Next. Okay, I love this guy. 67 years old. That's 6 weeks. First picture, it looks like he was getting ready for a mugshot at the police station. Looks a little better after 6 weeks, actually quite a bit better. It already opened up his, oh, that's 1 week. Okay, so the middle picture is 1 week, and he's already started looking. After 6 weeks, the far right picture, his skin is what? Brighter, tighter, smoother, younger looking. 67. Okay, now that's still a baby in my terms, but it's older for most people. My wife is 67. Oh no, she just turned 68. Okay, next. Now, Ryan wanted me to do a half face because I used to do my own 5 cosmetic companies. I told him the power of a half face, when it comes to makeup. Look at my hands. And I sprayed my right hand. I didn't spray my left hand. And look at the difference. Oh my gosh. And I was only 71 at the time as a baby. Next. Okay, I love this lady. She's in Hungary. And she's 7 weeks. I said, how often did you spray? She said, I did exactly what you said, 5 times a day. Look at that. I mean, that's, whoa, plastic surgery time. And guess what happened? We went to Hungary in May, and her brother and his son came up to me. She wasn't able to come, but they said, oh my gosh, she looks so much better than the after picture you showed. She's gotten better from that. Is that crazy? Next. Okay, this was a lady in Greece, and Irene, who is one of our Greek leaders that got it started there. That's her mom. She said, I had old lady legs, now I have young lady legs. That's pretty crazy. Next. Now this is a young girl. I think she's probably around 21. And that's after 10 days, but look how it evened out her skin, minimized her pore appearance, brightened her skin, opened her eyes in 10 days. Next. Okay, she's 65. That's 8 weeks. She had been a smoker and did a lot of damage to her skin. Most of it's gone in 8 weeks. Next. 84 years old. Now, this was in 4 weeks. This is incredible. This is not normal to see that radical of a difference. And we asked her, how many times a day do you spray? She said, I have a strategy. I have bottles of the spray all over the house, and anytime I pass one, I spray. It only takes 3 seconds. 5 squirts, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the neck. And look at that. So she kind of cheated. She probably sprayed 20 times a day. Who knows? But my gosh, what a result. Next. Okay, that was 2 weeks. That's crazy. Crazy. 56-year-old. Next. That's Irene. It was her mother that had the change in her legs. And look at Irene. That was after 2 years. But look at the difference. And I've seen her since, and she even looks younger than that now. She honestly, I can't even believe how good she looks. Next. Now, this guy is my age. He was 76 when the picture was taken, or 77. Yeah, 76. But 1 year, tighter, brighter, younger looking. Next. 85-year-old. Yeah, a little big difference there. Next. That was an 85-year-old man, by the way. This one's pretty cool. We don't know her age, but that was in 6 days. Next. Okay, this lady, 70 years old, and that was after 9 months. I mean, talk about a difference. Next. And she's in Israel. She's not 58. She's 70. That we haven't fixed that yet. But she's 70 years old. She works on a kibbutz. Outdoors. Look at the difference. Next. Here we go. Crepey legs, 12 weeks. What a difference. Next. Next, that one we won't talk about, but it's great. Okay, I love this guy. He's one of my favorites. He's 94 years old when this was taken, and he had been on it for 8 months. And he said, I love the new look, but I love the way I feel like the guy on the right instead of the guy on the left. And he said, that's what I love the most. Okay, back to me, please. So why do we show you that? Number one, we have the world's best skincare by far. You want to see it even get better, you spray, but you also swish a couple times a day. But more important than the before and after is what they're telling us younger, better looking, brighter, tighter, younger looking. There, now I said it right. The same biochemical activity, the redox activity that our glutathione is creating in the cells, or in the skin cells, it's doing that with all the cells in your body. Your heart cells, your brain cells, your liver cells, your kidney cells, your muscle cells, your joint, everything is getting worked on. Until we had this new, I got a confession. The iteration that is now extra strength, but I started on it a year ago when we created. Prior to that, I couldn't snap my fingers anymore. Okay, arthritis, couldn't make any noise. And something I had done since I was a child that I couldn't do anymore. I was probably 4 weeks on extra strength, and bingo, there we go. Now, that's not big to you, but because that's my resting position. I love that position. I call it the Snell position because it looks like a Snell. I've done that since I was probably 5 years old. I can snap, no pain, no, what's the right word? Where you're stiff. No stiffness that prevents that. All gone, woohoo! And but I couldn't really share it with the field because we weren't ready to take it out there, but we did put it in clinics. That was what was tested in the Eurofin. Eurofin tested extra strength. So that's what we have for you now. As you know, and I'll just mention it, we introduced 3 brand new product and delivery forms. It's still hydrostat, but we have these little tiny concentrated sprays, one for energy, one for magnesium. Nice rest. Doesn't put you to sleep, but if you ever have, I had situations that would keep me awake, and man, it just calms me down. I'm asleep within 5 minutes, but not from taking that. It gives us restful stuff. And then we have immune. Woo-hoo! woohoo, man, if you travel as much as I do, it's not uncommon. I would say prior to Immune, almost every time I did international travel, I'd come home and get sick. A little bit, not bad because I'm still swishing glutathione, so maybe 24 hours. Sniffles, coughing stuff. Man, Michael, before we packaged it with branding, Michael, Firth, our Crown Diamond, and Ryan had a big international trip, and they did together. It was great. And 3 nights in a row that they thought, oh man, I'm coming down. 3 sprays, and you hold it in your mouth for 30 seconds, and they wake up the next morning, nothing. And then the next day they had more travel. Oh, man, I'm coming down. Wake up, nothing. 3 times in a row with Ryan and Michael. And the energy. Those at my age, nothing is worse than boring meetings. And now when I go into a management meeting, which I usually stay away from, and then Aaron, our CEO, gives me a quick wrap up, but they'll go and they'll go and they'll go for an hour, 2 hours. And if, here I go. And when I was a young man, I was a marketing officer with a big bank, biggest bank in Arizona, 25th biggest bank in the world or in America. And the chairman of the board, the CEO had a conference room. 8 of us were in the room. He's talking, and here I go. I slept. My boss calls me into his office and says, Steve, you fell asleep on Mr. Huckle? What were you thinking? I said, I was kind of tired. I have a new baby. Yeah, that didn't buy me anything. Anyway, that job only lasted a few months anyway. So, okay, what do we have? We have breakthroughs, and our concentrated sprays hit a lower price point, 30-day supply, and that opens the door to younger people, and every young person wants more energy. I mean, can you imagine being in school today? I always fell asleep in school. In fact, I had some very major problems because I always sat in the front row in college. And and woohoo! I've used it a whole bunch since we got back. So those are now available, and life is good, and God is good. I would be a fraud, totally. And there's a lot of areas I've had struggles with, but I do like to tell the truth. Yes, I have lied. I've exaggerated at times, but I'd be a fraud if I said we did this on our own. Our chief product developer and innovator is Bert Wanacott. Many of you have met him. Bert says it all came through inspiration, and I believe that, because everything I have that I value in life has come from God, including Neumi. Neumi, we're a family of 70 people in 75 countries, and everyone is precious and dear to us, and God deserves the credit. The reason we get to people is because of you, and you go out and you get in the trenches and tell everybody. And I just want to tell you how grateful I am for that. Our whole executive team is. That's why we go out on the road. We want to encourage and help everybody that's out there. So thank you. God bless you. And let's see, Sean and I still have an hour before we go to meet with this group at a clinic here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we will see you later. I don't know when the next time they're going to have me, but when they do, I'll be here. This is not the normal. Normally, it's the 3rd Thursday of every month. This time, we were the 4th Thursday. So God bless you all, and we'll see you later.
All righty. Thank you, Steve. And by the way, he's 100% on that. The immunity did blow my mind in getting me to bounce back when I was traveling, just totally exhausted. So, by the way, this presentation has been live streamed onto the YouTube channel right now. If you wish to use it, it's right there. It's on the Facebook page as well. on one of the Facebook pages, the team one. When it comes to next week's presentations, I want to let you know that one of our professional presenters will be presenting on the Tuesday night official opportunity overview with all the new information. And then on the Wednesday, which is members night, don't miss that, because Ryan and Aaron will be coming on and they'll be sharing some new slides that'll be accessible for everyone. So don't ask me for the slides we presented already, because they're not the ones you're going to get. But in a week from now, you will be getting those as well. So hope you got a lot out of our founders call today with Steve Scott, and plenty more events that you can follow up with from today. So ladies and gentlemen, good morning.